Have you ever cooked something that looked perfectly fine, smelled delicious, and yet it might be quietly damaging your health? Yes, sometimes the danger isn't in what we eat, but in how we cook it. There's one simple cooking habit millions of people do every single day without realizing its risks: reusing the same cooking oil. You fry something once, and then you think, why waste it? I'll just use it again. But that innocent habit might be silently turning your food into a toxic trap. When cooking oil is heated again and again, its chemical structure changes. The healthy fats break down and form compounds called free radicals and trans fats, the same dangerous substances linked to cancer, heart disease, and even premature aging. These toxins cause oxidative stress in your body, meaning your cells are under attack. Over time, this stress damages blood vessels, raises bad cholesterol, and can even harm DNA. The everyday connection. Think about your favorite fried snacks: samosas, fries, pakoras, nuggets. Most restaurants and street vendors reuse oil multiple times to save cost. That's why health experts say, even if the food tastes great, it might carry invisible poisons from that reheated oil. The safer way. If you love fried food, that's okay, just be smart about it. Avoid reusing oil more than once. Use oils with high smoke points like olive oil, avocado oil, or mustard oil. And always store oil away from sunlight because even light can trigger oxidation. Remember, small kitchen choices today shape your long-term health tomorrow. Cancer and heart disease don't appear overnight. They build quietly through everyday habits. So the next time you cook, ask yourself, is this the meal that heals me or harms me? If you found this eye-opening, visit the channel for the full video where we reveal 5 other common cooking habits that could be slowly destroying your health. Reusing cooking oil creates toxic compounds that can have serious effects on your health over time. When you heat oil for cooking, it undergoes a chemical transformation. Fresh oil has a stable structure of fatty acids that can tolerate heat to a certain extent, but once it's heated repeatedly, that structure begins to break down. Each time the oil is reused, it loses more of its natural stability and starts producing harmful byproducts that you can't see, smell, or taste, yet they remain in the food you eat. When you fry food, especially at high temperatures, the oil oxidizes. Oxidation means oxygen reacts with the fats in the oil, forming substances known as aldehydes and lipid peroxides. These compounds are not just impurities. They are highly reactive toxins that can damage the cells in your body when consumed regularly. Once you reuse the oil, these compounds multiply because the oil becomes less resistant to heat. What started as a golden, clean oil slowly turns darker, stickier, and more unstable. Even if it still looks usable, it has already lost its nutritional integrity and turned into a potential health hazard. Many people reuse cooking oil thinking it's harmless or a way to save money, but medical studies show that the continuous reheating process produces polymerized triglycerides, trans fats, and free radicals. These compounds can increase bad cholesterol levels and reduce good cholesterol, creating an imbalance that stresses the heart and blood vessels. Free radicals, in particular, attack the body's healthy cells, leading to chronic inflammation, a root cause of many serious diseases including heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer. The more you reuse the oil, the higher the concentration of these toxic substances becomes. Another overlooked issue is the smoke point. Every oil has a temperature limit where it starts to smoke and decompose. Each time you reuse oil, its smoke point drops lower, meaning it breaks down faster the next time you cook. When oil smokes, it releases acrolein, a compound that irritates the throat and lungs and can have carcinogenic properties. People who regularly cook with old, reused oil are often exposed to these fumes, which can affect respiratory health over time. The problem intensifies when food particles are left behind in the oil. These tiny crumbs continue to burn during reheating, creating even more free radicals and harmful compounds. It also changes the oil's taste and appearance, but more importantly, it contaminates the food you're about to eat. This is why food experts advise against reusing oil for deep frying, especially with battered or breaded items. Scientific research has also linked the repeated use of cooking oil to increased levels of oxidized LDL cholesterol in the blood, the type that sticks to artery walls and leads to blockages. Over time, this can result in high blood pressure, stroke, or heart attacks. The same oxidative process can also contribute to DNA damage, which is one reason scientists associate reused oil consumption with a higher risk of certain cancers. Even though the oil may appear fine to the naked eye, its chemical makeup is no longer the same. What was once a healthy ingredient used for cooking turns into a carrier of invisible toxins that quietly harm your body each time you consume it. Reheated oil forms free radicals and trans fats, both of which are harmful to the human body in ways that build up slowly, but significantly over time. When oil is heated once, the fatty acids within it undergo a chemical transformation, but the damage becomes much more severe when it is reheated multiple times. Each reheating cycle causes the molecular bonds in the oil to break down, releasing unstable molecules called free radicals. These free radicals are atoms or groups of atoms with unpaired electrons, and because they are unstable, they react aggressively with other molecules in the body, such as proteins, lipids, and even DNA. This leads to a chain reaction of cellular damage, known as oxidative stress, which is a key factor behind the development of many chronic diseases. When oils are heated past their tolerance level, the beneficial unsaturated fats they once contained are converted into trans fats. Trans fats are artificial fats that alter the body's normal lipid balance by increasing levels of low-density lipoprotein, LDL, often called bad cholesterol, and decreasing levels of high-density lipoprotein, HDL, or good cholesterol. This imbalance contributes directly to plaque buildup in arteries, which restricts blood flow and increases the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases. What makes this particularly concerning is that the formation of trans fats in reheated oil happens quietly and invisibly, meaning you cannot tell by taste, smell, or appearance that the oil has already become harmful. The production of free radicals during reheating doesn't just affect your heart, it also impacts nearly every cell in your body. These unstable molecules can damage the lining of blood vessels, cause inflammation in tissues, and interfere with normal cellular communication. Over time, the body's natural defense systems, including antioxidants, become overwhelmed and can no longer neutralize all the free radicals being introduced through diet. As a result, this prolonged oxidative stress contributes not only to heart disease but also to aging, liver dysfunction, and neurological conditions such as dementia. When oils such as sunflower, soybean, or canola are repeatedly reheated, they undergo a process called polymerization. This means the molecules in the oil start sticking together, forming larger compounds that are difficult for the body to break down. These sticky residues can accumulate in blood vessels and organs, reducing overall metabolic efficiency. In addition, the reheating process reduces the oil's vitamin E content, a natural antioxidant that normally protects cells from oxidative damage, making the oil even more prone to forming harmful byproducts. The danger increases when the same oil is used for deep frying. High temperatures combined with moisture from food cause the oil to degrade rapidly. During this process, the triglycerides in the oil decompose, forming aldehydes and ketones, toxic compounds linked to cancer development and DNA damage. Studies have shown that aldehydes, once formed in the oil, can remain even after cooling and reheating, meaning that every reuse of oil multiplies their concentration. Because of the formation of both trans fats and free radicals, reheated oil loses all its original health benefits. Instead of being a source of energy and essential fatty acids, it becomes a hidden threat inside seemingly delicious meals. The repeated exposure to these harmful substances, even in small amounts, contributes to long-term inflammation, clogged arteries, and cellular mutations that form the foundation of many modern chronic illnesses. These toxins increase cancer and heart disease risk because they interfere with the body's natural cellular balance and damage vital systems over time. When cooking oils are reheated and begin to degrade, they release a range of toxic substances such as aldehydes, peroxides, and trans fats. These compounds enter the bloodstream through the food we eat and start a process called oxidative stress, where unstable molecules attack healthy cells. This process weakens the body's ability to repair itself and creates an environment where inflammation becomes chronic. Chronic inflammation is a key driver of both cancer formation and cardiovascular disease. The connection between these toxins and heart disease lies in how they affect blood vessels and cholesterol levels. Reheated oil toxins damage the inner walls of arteries, making them rough and more prone to trapping cholesterol. Over time, this buildup forms plaque, which hardens and narrows the arteries, a condition known as atherosclerosis. This restricts blood flow and forces the heart to work harder to pump blood, which raises blood pressure and increases the likelihood of heart attack or stroke. The trans fats formed during reheating also raise low-density lipoprotein, LDL, levels while lowering high-density lipoprotein, HDL, creating a dangerous imbalance in blood lipids. This imbalance further accelerates the process of arterial clogging and inflammation, setting the stage for serious cardiovascular complications. The risk of cancer comes from a different, yet related, mechanism. When oils break down under high heat, they produce mutagenic compounds, substances that can cause mutations in DNA. Compounds like acrolein, acrylamide, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, are known to interfere with normal cell growth and replication. Once these toxins enter the body, they can bind to cellular DNA and alter its structure, leading to uncontrolled cell division. This uncontrolled growth forms the basis of tumor development. Long-term exposure, even in small amounts, allows these toxins to accumulate and gradually increase the likelihood of mutations that can turn normal cells into cancerous ones. Studies have shown that people who frequently consume fried or reheated foods have higher markers of oxidative damage in their blood. This means their bodies are constantly fighting against the byproducts of reheated oil. The heart and liver are among the most affected organs because they handle fat metabolism and detoxification. As the liver works harder to break down these toxins, it becomes inflamed and less efficient, while the heart faces the burden of transporting oxidized fats through the bloodstream. Over time, this double strain contributes to metabolic disturbances, obesity, and type 2 diabetes, which further amplify the risks of both heart disease and cancer. The danger is compounded when food is stored in the same oil for extended periods. As the oil continues to oxidize, its concentration of harmful compounds rises exponentially. Even if the oil appears clean and is strained after use, the invisible toxins remain chemically active. Consuming these substances regularly causes cumulative damage at the cellular level, which silently progresses without immediate symptoms. Many health experts warn that the long-term use of reheated oil is one of the most underestimated contributors to chronic illness, as it continuously exposes the body to low doses of carcinogenic and artery-clogging compounds that build up slowly over time. Street foods often use reused oil repeatedly because it helps vendors cut costs and maintain speed during busy hours, but this common practice introduces a serious health risk to the public. When oil is heated for frying at high temperatures and then reused throughout the day, its chemical structure deteriorates rapidly. The same oil that gives a crisp texture to fried snacks becomes a breeding ground for toxic compounds after multiple uses. Food stalls and small eateries, especially in crowded markets, tend to fry large batches of items like samosas, pakoras, fries, and nuggets in the same pot of oil without realizing how quickly it becomes unsafe. The oil may appear clear at first, but each reheating releases harmful substances such as aldehydes, peroxides, and trans fats that accumulate as the day goes on. When customers buy street food, they often focus on flavor and aroma, unaware that the delicious golden coating comes from oil that has been reheated multiple times. The repeated frying process oxidizes the oil, breaking down its molecular bonds and creating free radicals. These unstable molecules enter the body when consumed and begin attacking healthy cells, contributing to long-term issues like inflammation, heart disease, and cancer. Street vendors often lack the resources or awareness to replace the oil frequently, and because used oil still looks functional, it continues to be used far beyond its safe limit. Each reuse lowers the oil's smoke point, meaning it burns faster and generates more toxic fumes that can harm both the cook and the consumer. In many developing countries, the problem is even more severe because cooking oil is expensive. Vendors stretch its use to the maximum to stay profitable, reheating it several times a day and even mixing fresh oil with old oil to extend its lifespan. This mixture does not dilute the danger. Instead, it accelerates the formation of dangerous compounds like acrolein and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These chemicals have been directly linked to respiratory irritation, DNA mutations, and increased cancer risk. Street food often sits in the open air for long periods, and the combination of exposure to dust, moisture, and oxygen worsens the degradation of the oil, amplifying its toxicity. Medical research shows that oils reused in street food preparation can contain levels of harmful aldehydes many times higher than the recommended limit for safe consumption. These aldehydes can react with proteins and fats inside the body, forming sticky deposits in blood vessels that promote atherosclerosis. Over time, this leads to reduced blood flow and higher chances of heart attacks or strokes. The toxins also interfere with the liver's detoxification process, forcing it to work harder and increasing the buildup of fatty deposits. As a result, frequent consumption of street food made in reused oil contributes to fatty liver disease and metabolic disorders. In addition to consuming toxic oil residues, people who frequently eat fried street foods also inhale fumes released during the frying process. These fumes carry volatile organic compounds that can irritate the lungs and airways. The danger is twofold: ingestion through food and inhalation through air exposure near the stalls. Vendors are at even greater risk, as they spend hours standing over hot oil inhaling fumes that can damage respiratory tissue. Because of the continuous reuse of oil, the same small frying pot may serve hundreds of customers daily, each meal carrying traces of degraded fats, carcinogenic aldehydes, and other harmful chemicals formed through repeated heating cycles. Use oils with high smoke points and avoid reheating because the stability of cooking oil under heat determines whether it stays healthy or turns toxic during cooking. The smoke point is the temperature at which oil starts to break down and release visible smoke, signaling that its molecular structure is deteriorating. Once oil reaches or exceeds this temperature, it produces harmful substances such as acrolein, free radicals, and trans fats. Oils with high smoke points, like avocado oil, refined olive oil, peanut oil, and mustard oil, are more resistant to heat and maintain their stability longer, making them safer for frying and sautéing. In contrast, oils with lower smoke points, such as unrefined coconut oil, flaxseed oil, or butter, break down quickly and should only be used for light cooking or as dressings. Choosing the right oil for each cooking method plays a major role in protecting your health. When oil is repeatedly heated beyond its smoke point, it not only loses flavor but also generates chemical compounds that can damage cells and tissues in the body. The once healthy fatty acids transform into reactive molecules that can trigger oxidative stress when ingested. This process leads to inflammation in the arteries, increases bad cholesterol levels, and promotes plaque buildup, setting the foundation for cardiovascular disease. Even oils marketed as healthy, like sunflower or corn oil, can become harmful if overheated or reused multiple times. The heat-sensitive polyunsaturated fats in these oils are more prone to oxidation, meaning they form toxic aldehydes faster than more heat-stable oils. Avoiding repeated reheating ensures that these fats retain their nutritional properties instead of becoming destructive. Another reason to avoid reheating oil is that every cycle of heating and cooling accelerates the breakdown of antioxidants naturally present in the oil. Antioxidants like vitamin E help protect the body from free radical damage, but when the oil is exposed to high temperatures repeatedly, these protective compounds disappear. Once the antioxidants are gone, the oil becomes more reactive and unstable, leading to faster formation of carcinogenic compounds. This is especially dangerous when food particles are left in the oil after frying. Those small crumbs continue to burn during reheating, producing blackened residues that contain polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, known to have cancer-causing potential. Properly straining oil after one use and discarding it after it darkens or thickens can significantly reduce exposure to these harmful compounds. Using oils with higher smoke points also minimizes the release of toxic fumes in the kitchen. When oil burns, it releases acrolein, a compound that irritates the throat, eyes, and lungs. Prolonged inhalation of acrolein can lead to respiratory issues and increase the risk of lung irritation or asthma. Cooking with stable oils that don't reach their smoking temperature as quickly helps maintain cleaner air and safer food. It's also advisable to cook at moderate heat rather than maximum temperature, as gradual heating preserves both the oil's structure and the food's nutrients. Oils such as avocado and peanut oil are ideal for frying because they remain stable even above 200 degrees Celsius, while lighter oils like olive or sesame oil are better suited for sautéing or baking at lower temperatures. This understanding of smoke points and the dangers of reheating allows for healthier cooking habits that protect both the heart and the body's cells from heat-induced toxins. Small kitchen habits shape long-term health because the way food is handled, cooked, and stored every day determines how much nutritional value it retains and how many harmful substances are introduced into the body. Many people focus on what they eat but overlook how they prepare it. Yet the difference between a healthy and harmful meal often lies in simple actions such as the type of oil used, the temperature applied, or how leftovers are stored. Over time, these small details accumulate and have a major influence on heart health, digestion, metabolism, and even the risk of developing chronic diseases. Something as simple as reheating food in the wrong container or using the same frying oil multiple times may seem harmless, but the chemical changes that occur in these processes slowly impact the body on a cellular level. When oils or fats are overheated repeatedly, they release free radicals and oxidized compounds that circulate through the bloodstream. These molecules can damage the lining of blood vessels and interfere with normal cellular repair functions. People who consistently eat fried or reheated foods expose themselves to low levels of toxins every day without realizing it. This exposure, although minor in the short term, creates oxidative stress that builds up over the years. The body's defense systems, including enzymes and antioxidants, are forced to work harder to neutralize these compounds. When they can no longer keep up, the imbalance promotes inflammation, high blood pressure, and the accumulation of bad cholesterol in arteries. A simple habit like choosing to cook with stable oils, using fresh ingredients, and avoiding reuse of cooking fat can drastically reduce this silent form of damage. Storage practices also play a large role in long-term health. Leaving cooked food at room temperature for extended periods allows bacteria to multiply, especially in oily or protein-rich dishes. Reheating such food might kill some bacteria, but their toxins often remain active and can irritate the digestive system. Similarly, storing oil in clear containers exposed to light and air speeds up oxidation, even when it hasn't been heated. Oxidized oil tastes bitter and loses nutrients like vitamin E, but more importantly, it becomes harmful when consumed regularly. Keeping oil in dark, cool places and using airtight containers helps preserve its quality and prevents the formation of damaging compounds. Another overlooked habit is the use of non-stick pans or plastic containers at high temperatures. When overheated, some non-stick coatings release microscopic particles and gases that can affect respiratory and hormonal health. Heating food in plastic containers, especially in microwaves, may cause chemicals such as BPA or phthalates to leach into the meal. These substances disrupt hormone balance and have been linked to metabolic and reproductive problems. Replacing plastic with glass or ceramic containers and maintaining cookware properly minimizes these risks. Everyday cooking routines, from washing vegetables thoroughly to avoiding burnt or charred food, also make a difference. Charred or overcooked meat produces compounds known as heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which are associated with cancer development. Preventing food from burning, maintaining moderate heat, and cooking evenly are small but powerful adjustments that reduce toxic exposure. Each of these seemingly minor actions compounds over time, influencing how efficiently the body functions, how well it fights disease, and how quickly it ages. If you found this information eye-opening, imagine how many other hidden dangers are sitting quietly in your kitchen right now. Your health truly begins with the choices you make every single day, and one small change in your cooking habits can protect you and your family for life. So if you care about living smarter, eating safer, and staying healthier, make sure to subscribe to this channel because we uncover the everyday secrets that most people overlook. Don't forget to like this video if you learned something new, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us which kitchen habits surprised you the most. Your experience might help someone else stay safe too.